Hey legends, this is Magnus. How you doing? We finally made it. Thank you, legends, so much for 100 subscribers. So I got for y'all a tier list video for you, and this is the Infinity Saga. So I am going to be doing my tier list of the MCU as far as phases 1 through 3. If you don't know, I've already done a tier list of Phase 4 in my 80 subscriber challenge, but not from here on, I look to call them subscriber specials. So, let's go quickly into it. So, like with my two previous tier lists, at the very top here we have peak MCU. So likely only one movie is gonna go here. That to me is like the peak of what MCU can do, at least as far as right now. Oh, S best. So some movies that I hold in high regard when I think of the MCU. A excellent, B good, C okay, D, it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad either. E, it was bad. F, it was terrible, and haven't seen it. Um, Off the top of my head, none of the movies are going in here. None of them. None of them are going in. Haven't seen it. So, I did do. I had to do a little bit of research because I wanted to have these images in release order. So this is all of phases 1 through 3. And now looking at it and thinking about phase 4, I do realize how phase 4 was a lot. But whoa, phase 4 was a lot. But I kept I kept it swinging. I kept being as up to date as I could, and I at least enjoyed it a lot. And I look forward to the rest of phase 5 and for phase 6. So thank you again. Thank you all so much for 100 subscribers. As of the recording of this special, we are at 102 subscribers strong. You legends are amazing. Next up is 110, and I do have a different idea when it comes to what that subscriber special could be. But if you have a suggestion, please let me know. Otherwise, more than likely the 110 subscriber special won't be a tier list video. It'll be a different format. It'll be something else. So let's get straight into this. So, starting off, Iron Man. Iron Man. Oh man. Okay. Okay. Let's. Ooh. Okay. Okay. I think I'm gonna put it in either A or S for Iron Man because I have pretty much lived with the MCU. I grew up with it. Iron Man came out when I was 7, and ever since then I've been watching Marvel. Like I went to see like Iron Man theaters. I ended up getting I think a arc reactor toy for my chest. Uh, I liked Iron Man a lot, so I think I'm going to have just for being the first Marvel movie in my and honestly the start of my love of Marvel. I think I gotta put Iron Man in S. I think I gotta put it in S tier. Um, vi- Villain wise, Obad, I hope I'm saying this right. Obadiah Stane, um, he was a good villain. He was pretty good. I wouldn't count Obadiah Stane in the Marvel villain problem because that was the very first movie where they did it, where they had the villain and killed him off in the same film. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. With later movies, I'll mention it where it could have been a problem, but for the first one, nah. This was good. I forget the name of the actor, but who played Rhodey before Don Cheadle. Oh man. I would wonder like in a multiverse scenario what it would pretty much look the same, but if the same actor played him, I think it would have been nice. But maybe in like Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars we could get that. We can get the War Machine with the actor who played him the first time. Incredible Hulk. As a Hulk super fan, as Hulk being my favorite MCU character, I haven't seen this movie in a while. I haven't seen it in a while, but I think it's not part of like it's basically in the MCU. It just doesn't get talked about like anyone big. Like of course, since they don't have the rights to it on Disney Plus, it doesn't show up. But I think Incredible Hulk is going in. Uh, does it go in A or does it go in S? Nah, I'll keep it in A. I'll keep it in A because I thought this. I do agree with many people saying like the way the Hulk looks in this movie is one it's one of the best models by far. But the only other thing is like I do like the MCU's version of Hulk where I do agree that MCU Hulk seems a bit smaller than slightly bit smaller than the Hulk in the Incredible Hulk, but in the Incredible Hulk, his skin looked a little like oily or grease, like like when when you sweat a lot and you're just covered in sweat and you just see it. Like there were certain shots where I saw Hulk and he just looked that way. He looked a bit off. Where the MCU Hulk to me never looked like that. So, but the action from Hulk in the Incredible Hulk is by far some of the best. Some of the best. So, and then of course with what Hulk as he is currently, I'm good with it. I'm good with with the MCU what they did with Hulk because I can understand that one they couldn't do full on movie because of the Universal rights and then because of that since you have other characters that are yours that you can focus on Hulk unfortunately getting a side seat, I'm okay. I'm fine with I'm fine with Professor Hulk. Okay, I'm fine with what they did with him and with She Hulk. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with what they did with Hulk because as much as I love seeing Hulk rage out, I like seeing the two work together. I like where Hulk is not just this brooding monster because so many people to me seem to not get the point of the Hulk because all they want is seeing him for usually when in this movie or in Avengers Age of Ultron when I get to that when he was when Wanda gave him that vision and he was just raging everywhere. People just want that Hulk all the time, and I'm like Bruce Banner has gone in detail as to how he feels about that, and y'all just want him to just have no control over his anger whatsoever. I'm like, yes, I would like to see it, but I don't want Hulk being nothing but a raging stupid monster all the time. And I'm certain that for many, Ragn- Thor Ragnarok was a hail mary for them, and it was for me. So let's let's keep going. Oh, Abomination, Abomination. I think everybody should know Abomination looks weird in this film, and his appearance in Shang Chi and She Hulk, mass improvement. So y'all can hate on She Hulk all y'all want. I I like what they're doing with Polanski. I like that we got more looks of Abomination. He looks good, and whether he becomes like a anti-hero in the middle or he stays a villain, stuff like that, I'm cool with that because people say people saying maybe you could say the character was better in Incredible Hulk, but if you're gonna sit here and tell me that Abomination was better in the Incredible Hulk than She Hulk or Shang Chi, he you at least as far as looks, you are straight lying. You are lying because I re- I at least remember when this movie came out. something I commonly heard, even though I was a kid at the time. People say how bad, um, Abomination looked in this film, and how much like the Incredible Hulk, how many people didn't like or hated this film, and now it's praised. Ugh, whatever. Iron Man 2, again. Ugh, again. This is another one, and there are a few in here where people praise the Infinity Saga as if it's a sliced bread, bread and butter up and down, saying it has no flaws. When just a few years ago, y'all was picking apart every darn thing, or saying wild stuff, and people often said Iron Man 2 was not a good film. People were dogpiling this movie. Um, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. I think I'd put it in. It's good. It's good. Iron Man 2 is good. Whiplash in the movie was pretty cool. Like after like on second watches and stuff, he's a cooler character when you watch the movie more than once. We got to see War Machine in this movie. That we got to see War Machine himself, like the armor in this movie, which was cool. Um, Black Widow got introduced in this, which was cool. Um, we got to see more of Iron Man's suits, dude. When you had the man, when you have a Iron Man suit that can't fly, but can be turned into a suitcase. When you have a suit that just turns from a suitcase into a suit, I Tony out here flexing, man. Out here flexing. And then oh man, I forget the secondary villain in this. Oh, I can see his face clear as day. Um, oh my goodness, he runs the rival company who wanted to uproot Iron Man. Like I hear that he may be coming back in the MCU in some movie. I want to see him. I want to see him come back because he could be a good um antagonist for someone like Ironheart, for example. He could be a good villain pulling shady jobs. Um, Otherwise, oh, the final fight scene in this movie was amazing. Though the showdown with Iron Man, War Machine, and all the drones, that was beautiful. I out of all the scenes in Iron Man 2, the the racetrack the racetrack fight and the final fight were some of the those were my favorite in this movie. Those were great. Um, Thor, Thor. Okay, Thor to me is Thor is good. Yeah, Thor is good. Thor is good. A good introduction. A good introduction to Thor, Loki, the Asgard, art as a whole. That was good. A good redemption story. A redemption story. Humility. A lesson in humility. Yeah, yeah, this was a good film. Okay, and then when it comes to back to Iron Man 2 with the villain, killed him off, but kept the other one alive, just had him arrested. So you're good. To me, you're good on that one. And Incredible Hulk villain is arrested, didn't get rid of him. So these two are safe. Thor, um, okay, Thor, villain does this fall under the villain problem? I don't think so because okay, the Frost Giants pretty much we haven't we haven't really seen any Frost Giants ever since Thor. Ever since Thor, we haven't seen a single Frost Giant. I don't think since other than Loki, of course. But or what if like in what if where we saw Loki grow to his full potential. So that was really good. But the villain problem in this one, uh, at least in Marvel, I don't hear. I don't, of course, don't hear anyone saying like Marvel keeps too many villains alive or stuff, or that there's no consequences and stuff. I don't hear that argument. I hear that argument in Star Wars. I hear that argument in Star Wars all the time, which is a stupid argument, which I at least feel is a stupid argument because I can think of multiple examples that do prove your point, but also that multiple points where that were multiple examples where that I can disprove that point. Anyway, um, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, he he looks different in the first movie that and no, pretty much in the first movie. I think how old was he when he did that? I don't remember, but he looks slightly different in Thor than he does the other movies. I guess because of how old he was then, and uh, then how he looks in later movies. Like ever since after Thor looked better and better. Um, Loki, one of my what possibly in the Infinity Saga, probably my third favorite villain, favorite villain in the MCU. Okay, so next, Captain America: First Avenger. Captain America: First Avenger. Um, this one is also a good one. This is also a good one. Is excellent. Ooh, hmm. I think I gotta put this in good. Now, is it okay? I will say it's better. I would watch this. Uh, I would watch this is if I had the choice between Iron Man 2 or Thor, I'd watch this one first. Um, I liked Captain America First Avenger. I liked the story, especially with Eve with the odds obviously stacked against him. Red Skull was great. Red Skull was great in this movie. Um, when it comes to Captain America's First Avenger and the villain problem, I think it. I'd say it's safe, especially when we get to Infinity War, or like, especially once we get to Infinity War, you're pretty much good. Um, they set up multiple. They set up multiple things that done in comics and in TV shows in this movie. Yeah, all I can really say is like this is a good film. Memorable moments like the good man speech or the good man conversation with Steve and the doctor. I That's one of the highlights I think of the movie. Like that single scene in the barracks. It's very heartwarming. Um, yeah, not much I could say. Not much I could say. The post credit scene though was very good. The post credit scene was so cool. I'm pretty sure I saw that in theaters and I thought that was cool. Like that would be so messed up to wake up and you've been asleep for 70 years. That the Avengers, best, best, best. And I think I'm honestly gonna put this above Iron Man One. This movie is by far one of my favorite MCU movies of all time, and possibly one of my most favorite movies of all time. Oh, I love this movie. Oh my gosh! And of course, some of the reasons why it's my favorite. Um, because of course the Battle of New York. That's my most favorite sequence in Marvel. The Hulk is awesome. Iron Man is awesome. Thor is awesome in this. Captain America gets chances to shine. I'm Black Widow. Hawkeye looking cool out here. Also Thor introduced us to Hawkeye, which was nice. At first you don't really know who he is until Avengers where you recognize him. Helicarriers look great. Um, Loki was a great villain in this. Introduced that Thanos in the post credit scene. Then when we get to once we get to Infinity War, once we get to Infinity War, I will speak what I want to say about Thanos. I will go into a rant. I will go into a rant about Thanos. But as far as introducing a looming threat and a villain, the Avengers did a great job and it sets a good example, I'd say. Um, the Avengers theme. If you look on YouTube around and you see like the Avengers theme goes with anything, that's pretty much like I I've seen those videos and it's pretty much true. That's a theme that you can just pretty much live to. You can walk to work or you could do almost anything to that theme and feel great. So yeah, one of my personal favorites of the MCU. Iron Man 3, also to me a good film. Many people also don't like this one. I think this is good. I'd watch it, yes. Which one would I watch? I would watch it after Captain America First Avenger. Iron Man 3, yeah, real good movie. I am hurt that in Endgame, I did not see Sydney, I think his name is, in the movie. The kid we meet in Iron Man 3. I am hurt that I did not recognize him. I am hurt that I did not recognize him immediately. And honestly, we need him to come back. Honestly, I do not care. Okay, if people say like nobody cares about this character, I at least want to see him and see how he's doing. Okay, I want to see that because he don't need to wear a suit. He don't need to do all that. If anything, I just wanted to have a role. If you understand, like maybe Pepper like checks in on him every once in a while. Maybe he has his own like tech company or source of information like something. Like I wanted to pop up in the MCU here and there, and almost like anyone can go to him for like information or for tech, something like that. But villains in Iron Man 3, I don't care what anyone says. Slattery, I think his name is. Him being the Mandarin ending up being this actor on drugs was hilarious, and it still is hilarious to me. It was so it subverted your expectations so much. It threw you for a loop, and I was and to this day when I see that just having him on screen, I'm laughing. It's great. Like it's great. In fact, I think I got to put Iron Man 3 up a tier. I think I do. Yeah, I'll keep First Avenger there. Iron Man 3 goes in here. Yeah, and then okay, I'll get to and then I'll go in a separate rant about Iron Man when I get to the end of this list. But there was that, and then Killian being the Mandarin was cool, and then the project he was doing doing that was pretty cool. Like being able to heal lost limbs, and anyone who was siding with him, you could understand. Even the vice president, like you can hate him all you want. But you could at least understand why he's doing it. You can understand why he would side with Killian because he wants to give his daughter a potential chance to have a leg, to have either have her leg back or have a leg at all, or to give her a chance to be quote unquote normal, if you would say that. The Iron Legion top that should go in top 10 MCU moments. That the Iron Legion top 10 MCU moments. Oh my goodness, I love seeing all those Iron Man suits because I thought they looked beautiful. Each one of them, each in different ways, had different purposes, different makes, different models. I thought those were great. And then Iron Man blowing them up, that broke my heart. That hurt me seeing them blow up. I'm like, those are good suits. Those are good suits, and you're destroying them without remorse. And then it's confusing. Then I'm just confused because you said you was done. You said you was done, but then next time we see you, you back up in your suit. You back up in your Iron Man suit. But as far as I know, we only see him in one ever again. Like we only really see him in one other. Like he's only in one suit the entire movie. Like he upgrades them, but he doesn't have that many suits ever again. So, um, Pepper Pepper Potts in Iron Man 2, and Iron Man 3. He, she's great. She's great. She is great. She's almost every person. Like if your friend was in this situation, if your friend was doing this kind of stuff, you would honestly like react the same way Pepper would, honestly, in many of these situations. Um then anything anything else I could say? The okay, villains. You killed off Killian, which okay, okay, okay. Um, Slattery staying alive, nice, nice. Um, Otherwise, yeah. The soundtrack in Iron Man 2 was good. Yeah, especially the end credit song. The end credit theme is my favorite. Captain America soundtrack also nice. Iron Man 2 can't really remember the soundtrack in that one. Thor, I at least remember the soundtrack in Thor is very calm. It's calm, serene music. It's very nice to listen to. Thor: The Dark World. Once again, before the multiverse saga and Phase 4 came along, pretty much everyone was saying Thor: The Dark World was the worst Marvel film they released. At least until at least until Captain Marvel came along. For some, at least until Captain Marvel came along, but especially before the multiverse saga started, Thor: The Dark World was bagged on and hated. Um, I say it's good, and it's honestly I would watch this. Would I watch it over Iron Man 2? Mm, would I? Nah. Okay, I'd watch Thor: The Dark World over Thor though. The soundtrack is awesome. I like the music in this one, especially the main theme. Really liked that this the theme of this movie. Um, Thor was awesome. Loki was great to see. See, and coming from after Avengers, this was nice to see. Tom Hiddleston still rocking his role as Loki in this film. Um, Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston, at least to me, have good chemistry because they work so well off of each other. Each other in this movie alone, they work well off each other. Um, Chris Evans showing up briefly as Loki impersonating Captain America was nice. Um, the villain Malekith. Malekith was obviously a villain just to be mainly a villain just to be bad, just to plunge the universe in darkness. A bad guy just to be bad, but that's not a bad thing. Like there are instances of villains that just are bad just because they are good. So to me, Malekith Does he fall flat as a villain? Yes, but like to me, he's not a bad villain. In fact, probably one day I'd have to do a tier list on Marvel villains. Do a tier list on that. And then his second in command, at least once he became the stocky brute, he was awesome to me. Like he was cool to look at, and when he was on screen and doing stuff, of he to me he almost commanded your attention, like especially in the prison escape. He was just cool to look at. He was awesome. Um, yeah, let's see. Anything else? The the science stuff in there was pretty cool, but I was more there for the other worlds, and it's the convergence was a cool sequence. Uh, then darn, I forget his name. The uh the assistant who showed up in Thor: The Dark World, and him and Darcy, at least at the end they kissed. So I'm guessing that maybe they're in a relationship. I'm like, I'd like to know what's he up to. Like, did they work out? Like was he did he did he get dusted? Like I want to know that kind of stuff. Like even if it's brief, like there are some characters I just want to update on, see how they're doing. But overall, yeah. Thor: The Dark World, the villain problem. They did kill him off. They killed both off. So up until now, the villains either survived or died. So it's not like this one is the only one where I might say like you start having the problem of keep killing off your villains and it's taking away opportunities. Um, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Oh man. Okay, does this go in excellent or best? Oh man, because for I know for many this will probably go in best. Oh man, the soundtrack for this movie is awesome. The action scenes in this are awesome. The espionage is great. Oh, I think I do. I think I'll put it in best because yeah, you get a sense like when many people say that the MCU changed a little bit once the Winter Soldier came out. Like everything changed, like obviously with what happened in the movie, but this was also the introduction of the Russo brothers into Marvel. This movie was awesome. This movie was great. Bucky, I lie to y'all not. I lie to you not. I watched Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I and I must have forgotten it. I must have forgotten it because oh my goodness, I had to have forgotten it because despite the fact that I've seen it, and I know that in that show Bucky survived. He became the Winter Soldier. I forgot about that, and when Bucky was revealed to be alive in this, I was floored. That came as a surprise to me. Oh, the action scenes in this movie again are the best. It introduced us to Falcon. Um. Okay. Also, Thor: The Dark World. Tried to like fake kill off Loki, and then he ended up ruling Asgard, which to me was awesome. That was great. That was a great move. Um. Okay. Anyway, back to Winter Soldier. Nick Fury faking his death. I also like. I did believe that he died in this movie. I thought he did. But I'm happy he survived. I'm happy he's still alive. Black Widow in this movie was also great. Captain America in this movie was also awesome. The elevator scene again, probably one of in the top 10 best Marvel scenes. not just the elevator scene. I would say the escape from Shield headquarters in general is one of the best because this, like I'm certain he did before in the past, but this dude went up against a Quinjet single-handedly and took it down by himself. Took a Quinjet down by himself. Oh, yeah, this movie was great to me. Like Winter Soldier is awesome. Um, darn. Okay, villains. Bucky, awesome. Uh, then darn. Alexander Pierce. Alexander Pierce in this movie was cool. Um, I wish if we got more of him, for example, in Avengers, like if we got more like scenes with Shield, if we got more of Alexander Pierce beforehand, it would the weight of Nick's friendship with him would hit more when he turned out to be the villain. Um, Crossbones being introduced in this film was awesome, and to me, it's an epitome of, and it's not even like yes, you it's kind of a trope, but it also is in real life. Like I've heard and seen on the news real life instances of a bad person going through like a great deal of pain or being buried alive, shot up, whatever. They managed to survive, to keep living, but a good person goes through half of what that bad person did. Half, if that. They die immediately. No chance. No chance at all. You put this terrible person who's done countless bad things in that situation, they keep kicking. They keep living. What in the world? What? Oh my goodness, because Crossbones was buried alive. Buried alive from a crumbling building from a falling helicarrier. This dude, the next time we see him on an emergency room being worked on, completely messed up, but somehow survived that. On the 41st floor of the building. And certainly that helicarrier went through a couple of floors. So it's a possibility that Rumlow fell down at least one other floor. He fell down another floor and they found him buried in rubble. How do you survive that? How do you survive that? And you could like when I get to Civil War, like yes, you could say he looks beat up and terrible, but the fact that he still is alive, it's it's crazy to me. So to me, that is an Civil Captain America's Winter Soldier is safe from the villain problem because it kept one of its villains alive, and then it killed the other one off. So as long as you even out the score, you're good to me. And they exposed Hydra. And they returned Arnim Zola. They brought Arnim Zola back in the computer records. Uh, and the intro scene, the beginning boat scene was awesome. That was great. Especially with uh what is his name? Oh, I forget his name. Oh, he showed up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He showed up in there prominently. But we first see him like the French the French guy go up against Captain America. Say I thought you was more than your shield. Then Cap puts down the shield, takes off his helmet, and tells him in French, "Let's find out." Dude, that was ah, oh man, that was so oh that was so good. Oh oh that was so good. Oh Black Widow and Cap's relationship in this movie was also awesome. Um because as somebody who saw Young Avengers or the next Avengers, that animated movie, as somebody who knows that in one story, Captain America and Black Widow fell in love and had a kid, I thought I saw the potential of them possibly getting together. but hey, I'm cool with it because in the MCU, I most prominently, even with Bruce and Natasha, I would say this: if Hawkeye, okay, yeah, I got a little bit to go until Avengers: Age of Ultron, but I'll likely go back into this. But if Hawkeye wasn't married, if he wasn't married with kids, Haw- like Clint and Natasha, that's me. That's what I would have wanted. If Hawkeye wasn't married with kids, I would put Clint and Natasha together. Okay, Eh, but I also love dynamics of they're just best friends and they never develop feelings. They just are ride or die friends. For example, Anne and Sprig from Amphibia, or Buzz and Amelia. I think Amelia Hawthorne from Lightyear. I like those dynamics as well. And in my opinion, what they should have done with Star versus the Forces of Evil. I don't care what anybody says. Star and Marco were not, to me, that was not the relationship to go. No. I am a no. That was not what should have happened. Okay? That was not the way to go. I need to rewatch the entire series, but I at least know that they ended up together in there. I'm like, that not what no, that was stupid. That's stupid to me. That was not the way to go. Anyway, uh back back on point. Guard back on point. I already spoke about the villain problem, so it's good. Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy. Best in the MCU. I will put will I put this? Yes, I will put this above of Captain America Winter Soldier. Dude, for the people that freaking when I get to Ant-Man, I'll say the same thing. The people that said that nobody cares about the Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man, or characters you never heard about and that you never like, why should Marvel focus on characters that you don't know? Or I immediately think of the Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man to start as an example, and then immediately those people say that's different. No, it's not different because you didn't know a darn thing about these characters before this movie came out, and now they are a household name. Go to before the Guardians of the Galaxy came out. Nobody knew who these. No one, no common people, mind you, common people did not know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were. Um, Oh, they did not know who they were. I didn't know. Okay, I knew, but I didn't know. Again, watch Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Forgot it enough. I forgot about it enough to forget that the Guardians of the Galaxy are in that show. So when Guardians of the Galaxy no, especially when Disney Infinity 2.0 came out and a quick snippet of the original trailer showed Rocket and Groot. I did not know at all who these two characters were. I was wondering who these characters were. And then when the movie came out, fell in love with it. Fell in love with it. Favorite character, Star-Lord. Star-Lord is my favorite. I Man, if I went to a San Diego there are a few characters I would think of if I wanted to go to a San Diego or New York Comic Con, but one Marvel character I would want to dress up as is Star Lord. Full drip, full mask. He's my favorite. He's my favorite, especially with the Walkman. Uh, I just I really like this movie. I really like this movie. The soundtrack, I ain't got no complaints. No complaints at all about the soundtrack. Get and it introduced me to so the music in here. It made me remember actually. Okay, Guardians of the Galaxy made me realize Pina Colada song, like the actual name of it, because it shows up in Shrek, but I didn't know what it was called. This movie made me be able to find that song easier. Hooked on Feeling it introduced me to that. Cherry Bomb, Come and Get Your Love, of um Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Of this movie introduced me to a lot of songs that I love to this day. So, oh, and then Baby I Want You Back from the Jackson 5. Again, this movie did so much. We get to see Thanos in this, and I'll get to it when I get to Infinity War. I will speak on my thoughts on Thanos. I will go on a rant on that. Rocket is cool. Gamora awesome. Drax, he he is a walking meme. Agreed. But I only wish we got more chances to see him in action, to see him be the destroyer that they claim he is. Because as they say in the movie, like he's this looming, like he was, he had this aura to him that he was dangerous, that he could take down anyone he wanted to. I guess in the first movie it did have that and that kind of stuff, but the following movies pretty much he was a good joke. He was a good comedic character. Groot Groot's sacrifice. Oh, that was heartwarming. Heartwarming. Maybe not top 10 MCU moments, but it's high up there. That sacrifice was a heartbreak aching, heartwarming moment. Ronan. Ronan. He's a pretty good villain. Not the best villain, but he's powerful. Definitely powerful, but not the best villain. Probably one of the greatest, to me at least, one of the greatest villain defeats I've ever seen with the dance off. That to me makes me laugh every time, and I even participate with Peter because I like dancing with him. Um, then then the then the Guardians of the Galaxy declaration at the end with the Power Stone. That was an epic scene. Really like that. So overall, villain problem. Understandable. You killed off Ronan, but it makes sense. You're dealing with the Power Stone, and arguably it gave you the Guardians of the Galaxy. Pretty much got you to start being aware, really aware of the really being aware of the Infinity Stones. That and Thor: The Dark World. The Thor: The Dark World really did it. Like got you thinking that these each of these movies matter. They are building up to something big with the Reality Stone. Then the Power Stone added to it more. So, um, so once again, nobody really knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were before. Now they're a household name. James Gunn, you are an MVP. You did a great job with these characters. Oh, so to me, I'm like, whenever there's a character I've never heard of and Marvel is introducing it, that's why I have faith in them because they've won them over for me before, or so I don't have much to say. So, Avengers: Age of Ultron. I'm gonna put this in. Oh, I think I gotta put this in top of excellent. I'm gonna put this in the top of excellent for a reason. Now, when we get to the villain part, that's something that I'm gonna that's gonna be a rant. But let's first talk about the heroes in this one. Introduction of Vision, awesome. Uh, Quicksilver. You introduce Quicksilver. Well, first off, you introduce him in Winter Soldier post credit scene and Scarlet Witch. You introduce, but for those who at the time we were getting used to staying the whole movie to see the post credit scene. You introduce Quicksilver just to kill him off, which is unfortunate. It was unfortunate because I would like to see more of that character. I would have wanted to see more of him. Hopefully now we can get a new Quicksilver in the future. Um Scarlet Witch and like gave us Scarlet Witch, the start of one of a great hero and villain to come. Um, you did open up a lot of the Avengers' fears and pasts that we didn't know about. Um, got Hawkeye out here being a cool dude, not falling for Scarlet Witch's trick because he's already gone through that. He ain't doing it again. Um, I will get to Ultron. I'll get to Ultron. The Battle of Sokovia was great. Top one, at least to me, top 10, probably one of the top 10 MCU moments, maybe number 10 on the list or something, was the final battle, the 360 pan of that final battle with the Ultron drones. That and the theme, the soundtrack playing in that moment, and the 360 pan to me is one of the greatest MCU moments, and possibly to me one of the greatest cinematic moments to me of all time, because I just loved, like, when I first saw that, it it shocked me. It left me speechless. And whenever I see it now, I just love watching that. I just love watching that scene. It's beautiful to me. Hulk being able to be calmed down was great. Hulk versus Hulkbuster was awesome. Um, and again, with Hulk being a raging monster and stuff like that, I like to see that fight, but I don't need Hulk to be nothing but a roaming, roaming savage monster all the time. Like Thor Ragnarok Hulk. So Sakaar Hulk and Professor Hulk to me are good mediums. Those are good mediums to me. Anyway, then what else? What else? What else? What else? What am I forgetting? Hawkeye's family being introduced. That was nice. That was nice. The Tony made a bunch of mistakes in the MCU and he learned from them. But this like Ultron, Tony got off. He has to hold that. He has to hold that L right there. That Ultron was all his fault. Bruce helped him though, so he does get a little bit of blame. He does, but Tony, Ultron is all his fault. That is all his fault. All his fault. um. Then Thor going off world, Hulk going off world. Nice, nice choices. See. All right, villain problem. Villain problem. I don't think Ultron is gone. I don't want him to be, because if he is, that is freaking stupid. Because again, I've seen the Avengers, new Avengers movie, the animated movie, where basically about the kids of fallen Avengers, apart from Tony who stayed alive, and the Hulk. So I've seen what Ultron can do, and in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, what Ultron can do. You do not introduce a villain like that. You do not introduce a villain like that and then kill him off in one movie. I don't want him to be gone. I don't. I don't. I don't. I don't. And I really hope he comes back and that they explain that, to me, Ultron was too smart. There, yes, he had a bit of Tony's personality in him, and I don't have a problem with that. I don't. You can't tell me somebody that smart, as intelligent as he is, could not have come up with a backup plan and a contingency plan for in case he failed. Because if they do keep it that way and he doesn't come back, up until What If, you failed Ultron as a character. Up until What If came out, you failed Ultron as a person. You failed Ultron as a character. But what if Ultron was a Hail Mary for me? What if Ultron was the Ultron that I wanted to see? So I'm happy about that. Ultron's first model was pretty good, like how he looks through most of the film. That was good. I was hoping to see his iconic look with whether it be like most of the drones, like his Ultron drones look with the eyes and stuff. And even if he added multiple eyes, like in some concept art or fan art of him, those look absolutely beautiful. Um, but what else? The conversation Vision has with Ultron is very nice. That was a nice discussion about humanity and existence. And I like how honest Vision was because he openly admits that humans are doomed and you don't like just like with Ultron, he had to look on the internet for just 5 seconds and see that humanity was was worthy of destruction. And honestly, every day humans, like we ourselves, every day look at things that make us lose our faith in humanity. But but again, like Vision said it best. Like a thing isn't beautiful because it lasts. Just which is true. Just because something lasts doesn't mean that it was beautiful because of how long it lasted. For example, take takes the city of Rome. Um, Rome, ancient cities that have fallen. Yes, they've fallen, but why did they? Why are they so prominent? Like it wasn't because they, whether it be because unless when those it was a when in certain scenarios where it was a impressive feat for it to fall, but what they did in the meantime while that power was around was what made it so great. So to me, for example, the MCU itself, it's not beautiful because it lasts. It's what happens in its run that makes it beautiful. So the MCU can go on for as long as it can, and but to me, the length of it is not really what to me makes it beautiful. It's what it did in its while it was around. What was what made it great. Um, so then Age of Ultron set up a couple of things. It obviously set up Thor Ragnarok, like whether that was the plan or not. Um, then Captain America: Civil War, or yeah. So yeah, otherwise Quicksilver again being killed off, so really hurt to see that. Yep, not much else to say. I just think it's an excellent, great film. Ant Man, Ant Man. I think this is an excellent film. This is an excellent film. Let's see. I'll put it here. I'll put it here. So to me, it's all right. Oh man, I've been talking about this for a while already. Um, Ant Man is a great film, because of course I at least knew who Ant Man was, but again, bit of a no name character, a lower tier that not many people know. And despite that fact, he is more well known now than ever, and beloved by many people more than ever. And I thought this movie was uh, very comedic gold, for obvious reasons. Um, oh man, I forget his name, but his hilarious Luis's stories. Oh, Luis's stories are comedy gold in the MCU. And I still wish that they will do one day have Luis just explain the MCU one day from start to beginning. I would watch that just to have a real good laugh. Um, so introducing Hank Pym as a previous, like he was Ant Man, and so that this hero was just around, and then Scott takes on the mantle. That was nice. So that already says, like, for many people who are wondering how certain characters could be brought in without explanation, and the uh using the card that they've been around, we just never saw them. That's that's a good point. I mean, it's true. I mean, it's true. Um. Oh, also, Age of Ultron post credit scene, with Thanos taking the Infinity Gauntlet. Pretty good end credit scene, I will say. Uh, Ant Man. Overall, Yellow Jacket, cool villain, cool villain. The suit looks great. The contrast between black and red, black and yellow, that was nice. That was a nice touch. Um, Seeing Ant Man go up against Falcon was real cool. And then um, the post credit scene leading up to Civil War. Ooh, that had me hyped when I first saw it. Um, so Ant Man overall, like Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant Man are definitely like comedy centered projects. These are more comedy centered projects than they work to me, and that at least to me includes Ant-Man Quantumania. Quantumania to me is a solid film. I thought it was good. I thought it was good. If I like whenever I rank Phase 5, when we get to Phase 6, I'm probably gonna put Quantumania. I'm probably gonna put Quantumania in either A or B. I'm gonna put it in excellent or good. Okay. Next up, Captain America: Civil War, best, best. Okay, is it bad? Yeah, I'll put it above Winter Soldier. This movie was great. Um, you could be on either side. You could be on either side of the argument and agree with either. I'm on Team Cap. I'm on Cap's team on this. I was with Captain America on this one. Villain problem. Sorry, Ant Man villain problem. At first, without Quantumania, I would say yes. Without Quantumania, I would say yes because you killed off Yellow Jacket. But with Quantumania in mind, you're good. I think with Quantumania in mind, you're good. Without it, with just the Infinity Saga, yeah, you still have the villain problem of killing off your villains too easy, too quickly. Civil War. Civil War. Villain problem, Civil War, ain't got that problem. Don't have that. Like, to me, don't have that problem. Not really. Because Rumlow, unfortunately, Crossbones died at the start of the movie. Uh, but he should have died. He should have died from that building falling on top of him. So delayed the inevitable. Um, let's see. Darn. So I was one of the people who were like, yes, we left damage in our wake, but we've saved the world. Do you know how worse life could be if we didn't fight for y'all? Except for since the Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron was Tony's fault. Okay, that, as I said, that's Tony's fault. But Avengers, there's like the Battle of New York, Washington D.C. That's Shield. That was Shield and Hydra. Okay, that ain't the Avengers' fault. That is not the Avengers' fault. Protecting Bucky, I would do the same since he was being framed. See, we got introduced to Black Panther and Spider Man. Dude, okay, again, you hear this often from me. Watched Earth's Mightiest Heroes before this movie came out. Did not and forgot about it enough for the fact that I did not recognize Black Panther when we see him in the trailer. So the concept of Wakanda and all that in my kid mind was new to me. I was not thinking straight. So it was nice to see. Um, the Germany airplane fight scene, that whole sequence, it's maybe not top 10, but maybe top 20. Maybe top 20 MCU moments. Top 20 MCU moments. Introduction of Spider-Man into the MCU, awesome, awesome. Um, Spider-Man, the Spider-Man symbol, I was fine with it. I thought it was a cute. It's a cute Spider-Man symbol. It's cute. Um, let's see. Zo no, not Zola. Oh man, I'm forgetting his name. Baron Zemo. Baron Zemo. Like great villain. Great villain. Possibly my number four favorite villain in the MCU. Number two. Number two is Ultron. Number two is Ultron. Um, but like Baron Zemo was great in this film. The actor who played him was awesome. Uh, he did what many various villains before this film could not do. He broke the Avengers apart. Broke them apart. Got them to fight each other. As he said, he knew he couldn't beat them. That mightier people than him have tried. So getting them to fight each other, he saw a chance. And he took it. Um Rhodey getting paralyzed or at least crippled was a good touch. That was a heartbreaking. That was a that was tough to watch, but it was nice. It was nice to see like things happen that will have lasting consequences. Um, then man, Bucky turning out to be the man who killed Tony's parents. When I first saw that, when anyone for the first time sees that, you know things about to get real. Tony about to go off. He about to go off. Oh man, and that was beautiful to watch. That was a beautiful fight, and I often use that as a like Captain America being a great fighter, but I also forget the fact that this shows how good Tony is. He went up against the Winter Soldier and Captain America in a fight and held his own pretty much. He held his own throughout the fight, disarmed Bucky, and then ended up losing the Cap. So, and it did the icon. At least I didn't read the Captain America Civil War. I didn't read the Civil War. Sorry, Civil War comic, but I at least recognized the iconic shot of shield, the shield right in front of the blast. I thought that was I thought that was beautiful. But and I understand why they couldn't do it at the same scale, but I still take it. If we had a second Civil War and they did like from the current comics with Captain Marvel and Iron Man, Captain Marvel and someone else doing it, I would be fine with that. I'd be fine with another Civil War movie, especially with the new characters. Like we can get some nice dynamic and see like it acts another just like Captain America Civil War it acts a very thought provoking question that will split the fan base in half. So Black Panther sparing Zemo's life very noble thing to do. Um, we understand his need for vengeance, and then being able to let it go was great. Chadwick Boseman introduction to Chad like Civil War was my introduction to Chadwick Boseman as an actor. As an actor, I never knew who Chadwick Boseman or Tom Holland was until that movie. So in general, just great film. It's a great film in general. Um, Villain problem, I wouldn't say so. I think it's great. Um, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange. I honestly did see this film. I did see it, and I'd say it's good. Um, is it okay? Nah, it's good. It's good. Um, low. I think the lowest of would I want? I think I would honestly watch Thor over. I'd rather watch Doctor Strange over Thor. It was the visual effects in this movie were another level. The the concepts and stuff in this film are on a different level. I will say that. And the character, like many people say, like this is just he's just Tony, like he's just Tony, just with different powers and stuff. Arguably, you could say that, but you can say that, but like with Tony, he's like it takes a few films to be for him to like to get to a point of humbleness. With this movie, he like Stephen Strange was humbled more immediate, like more quickly, and it was like eye opening if I'd say that, because there are people and everyone goes in a moment in their life where some or many have gone in a moment in their life where everything was good, like everything was going just fine or something. You were at the top of your at what you thought your life was, and then something happened where it just went down from there. And it wasn't until a certain point that you started like you had a realization, either you had to change things, you had to buckle up, you had to straighten up and all that, and then you rose up to be a better person, to be and and possibly like a better version than the previous you ever could be. So this was a good movie, I would say. And I forget her name. I forget her name, but I at least recognize like the ancient one. I at least recognize her, of course, from Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. That's immediately whenever I see that actress, that's who I think of. And then at first I didn't recognize Benedict Cumberbatch until I recognized that he was in Star Trek. Oh, I forget which Star Trek movie he was in, but he was Khan on so I recognized him that way immediately. But villain problem, um, the villain in here, oh man, I forget his name. Darn it! But he's played by a great actor. Great actor. He was in Rogue One, very much like that. Um, very much love Rogue One. But the actor for I forget his name, but and his followers, I'd say they are a little bit lower tier in the grand scheme of villains. In the grand scheme of villains, because pin them up against some of these other villains in the MCU, they are winning. They are winning. For example, if you put them up against Frost Giants, those they are winning that fight. Put them up against Whiplash, they're winning that fight. They're winning that fight. Put them up against regular Dark Elves, they're winning that fight. Put them up against Malekith. Uh, Before the Ether takes over him, they have a chance to defeat him. Give Malekith the Ether. That would be a real good fight to see. Ooh, so in the grand scheme of things, not the best villains, but on a lower level, these villains were powerful. And Dormammu was nice introduction to Dormammu, and I'd like to see him again. I would want to see Dormammu again in his physical form, as he is in the comics, in the comics and stuff of how he has a physical form. I'd like to see that version of Dormammu. I'd like to see him one day. Um, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I wouldn't say this is an excellent movie. I put it over. I think I put it right. Oh, where would I put it? I put it. Hmm. Hmm. I'll put it here. I'll put it here. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was really good. That was pretty good. Ego being a celestial with Eternals in mind. I net with Eternals in mind. Now I'm confused. Before that, I just recognized Ego as a living planet. Like I at least know I had an idea of who Ego was. Mantis, my first introduction to Mantis. Then overall, like another good movie. Baby Groot. Groot was cool. Baby Groot was cute. Star Lord again, MVP character in the movie. Nebula getting character development, awesome. And joining the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yondu joining the Guardians of the Galaxy, awesome. Um, Drax getting character development with Mantis. Mantis, yeah, this is overall a good movie. This was, and they build up Adam Warlock, which we are finally getting in Volume 3. Yeah, I am excited to see Adam Warlock. Um, so villain problem. They killed off Ego. They did kill him off. Uh, but it's okay. I'd say like yeah, they did kill off a living planet. Literally, they killed off a living planet. But I'd say it's okay. It's okay. Like I wouldn't say it's a real Marvel problem because what what much can you? I mean, you could do a lot with a living planet staying around, but I can't think of it right now. Um, I want to see Howard the Duck. I think he was in a post credit. He was in the post credit scene of Guardians of the Galaxy. I want to see we maybe mm, not a Howard the Duck unless you wanted to make fun of the first Howard the Duck movie. Unless you wanted to take a jab at the first one with this one. I would be willing to see it. I would be willing to see a Howard the Duck movie, but if anything, you would likely do a Howard the Duck special presentation or maybe a show. But I think at most we might get like a Howard the Duck special presentation, and I'd watch that. I wanted to see Howard the Duck. Spider-Man: Homecoming. This was good. This was good. I think I put the yeah, I'll put this right here. Top of good. So the reason I say that about Spider-Man: Homecoming, I like how relatable Peter is in this one because he's very much the everyday teen. If you took a teen in at any point of their life, like especially in high school, and put them in that scenario of being an Avenger, fighting with Iron Man, fighting against Captain America, like fighting alongside the Avengers, you'd be just like Peter. I don't care. I'd be just like Peter. I'd be geeking out, waiting for my next mission, constantly calling Appy, wondering when you calling me in. And it would be hard for me to focus. It'd be hard for me to focus on almost anything. Vulture in this movie, villain problem. Hey, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I'm good with what they did with Vulture. I thought Vulture was great, and by played by Michael Keaton, nice, nice. Um, Tony in this movie was good because he played a very good father role because we see him growing more and more as a character and want like teaching the next generation, holding them accountable for their actions so that they don't make the same mistakes he did. Um, Liz in Spider-Man: Homecoming, dude, she kept getting raw. Like that's the thing with Peter. Like they set it up from Homecoming that Peter just ain't gonna have a normal life, and that's how I feel personally about relationships in general. When you're a superhero, you in general, in my mind, you can't have a normal life, and love is kind of out of the question. And Peter Parker is my best example of that. That's my best example. Um, Otherwise, we are still wondering what the heck happened with Avengers Tower. What what happened with Avengers Tower? Who bought it? I want to know. Is it the Baxter building? Was it bought by Kang or a variant of Kang? What happened to the Avengers building? What happened to Stark Tower? I want to know. Um, the boat scene in Homecoming. Any Spider-Man fan could see what they were doing. They were reminiscing on Sam Raimi's Spider-Man moment. Uh, but it was a nice touch. But it did immediately say that this Spider-Man is not stronger than the other because he was struggling to do it, but he at least he could do it. And it also showed how smart Peter was in this movie. in this movie. Um, and I like how in this movie it showed when we get to Far From Home, I think I see why people didn't exactly like this movie because Homecoming started off so good with Spider-Man having to rely on his own devices and his own tech, what he could do rather than with what Iron Man gave him. So I understand. I think I understand more why people were upset about Far From Home, but I'm good. I'm cool with it. But Peter picking up the rubble was a great message. That was like if you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it. That's a very heartwarming moment. And then him saving Vulture. That is another testament of being a hero. Like the big question about if you should kill a villain and stuff like that. That Spider-Man is an example of he's someone who won't unless every other means has been used. Every other means has been used. He's not going to kill someone just because he can or he feels that it's necessary. If he feels the need to save you, even if you've tried to kill him, he will save you, and I love that about him. I love that about this Spider-Man, and I like the fact that he Spider-Man did turn down becoming the next Iron Spider, becoming the next Avenger, and staying low to the ground, staying friendly neighborhood because we need street level heroes, and that's something I honestly look forward to. Like for example, after Secret Wars and after Kang Dynasty, because honestly, one thing that I look forward to, after multiverse, if we just I know you need to raise up the stakes and to me the next one you could do is obviously Galactus. But before you do something like on that something bigger than Kang, let's take some real time to do world building do world building on all levels. Street level, Avenger level, cosmic space level, cosmic level. Let's grow a bit more. For example, like Phase 4. Like I like y'all may not most of you may not like Phase 4, but to me it's like it did a lot of world building. Maybe a bit too much for some, but I think it was a lot of world building and I just want more of that. I want more of that on different levels. We need more street level heroes. And Homecoming was a great Ant-Man and Homecoming are great street level low stakes stuff that makes you just feel happy. It's a feel good movie on low stakes. And in fact, because of that, I think I got either I gotta put Ant Man down a peg or I just gotta bring Homecoming up a peg because of how good I'm thinking this is now. Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok. Best. I'll put this above Winter Soldier. Hulk fan. This was great. This was a great chance to see Hulk be able like him in control, him smarter than before. This was great. So this was great to see him. Thor in this movie, nice. The haircut was pretty cool. Um, Jeff Goldblum as darn it, not the Collector, the Collector's brother. Like at least in the comics, the Collector's brother. Um, oh no, what is his name? Oh no, I forget his name and it will come to me after I'm done recording this. I know it will. But he was amazing in this film. Loki was great in this film. His redemption arc was amazing. Um Hella great villain. Great villain. And as far as the villain problem goes, this is a movie where I think you kind of need that. You need the Marvel's villain problem. You need to kill her off because if she stayed alive, she would grow to be too big of a threat. She would grow to be too big of a threat. for the MCU. Honestly, she would be too big of a threat. Um, so and then it leads straight into Avengers Infinity War. Um, oh, this movie was great. This movie was good. Taika Waititi did a good job with this, and I would say while I do like Ragnarok more, I like Ragnarok more than Love and Thunder. Love and Thunder was also a good Taika Waititi film. I like that because if I ranked the Thor franchise, Thor at the bottom, Thor the Dark World after that, Love and Thunder and number two, Thor Ragnarok at number one. That's me. That's just me. Um, so Valkyrie introduced us to Valkyrie, which is nice. I like her character. Korg as well, also good character. Um, Overall, yeah, good movie. Black Panther. Black Panther. I think I got. Is it better is Black Panther better than Thor Ragnarok? Is it better than Thor Ragnarok? Is it? Is it? No, no. I think I'll leave it right there. I'll leave it right there. Black Panther is a great movie though. It was beautiful. Um, Killmonger. So the villain problem. Uh, I understand killing him off. I understand killing him off because his final words are some dope lines. Those are some good last words. You could just bury me in the ocean like my ancestors that jumped from the ships, cause they knew death was better than bondage. That is one heck of a way to die. That was one heck of final words. Oh man. Oh. Chadwick Boseman in this film was great. Angela Bassett, when we briefly see her in the movie, was nice. Um, Latita Wright or Shuri is good in this movie, and the sibling dynamic is awesome. Okoye, good. She's a we see immediately why she's so like she's the general of the Dora Milaje. Nakia, also very nice. Uh, what else? Ulysses Claw, introduced in Avengers: Age of Ultron, got his hand cut off, then died in Black Panther. Okay, but I would have wanted to I I would have wanted to either. Oh, I would have probably wanted Killmonger to bring him to Wakanda alive, honestly, and then he survives. Because I would want Ulysses to keep upgrading that arm of his so I can see how far they could get. And then the concept of Wakanda introduced in Civil War, which is cool. Post credit scene with Bucky, very nice scene. Um, Wakanda looked beautiful. Um, the soundtrack overall, soundtrack was a great. Soundtrack was great. So M'Baku, great for serious moments and for comedic moments. M'Baku was great. So overall, yeah, very good movie. Very good movie. Now we get to some of the final runners, and these right here, these might be some highlights of mine. Okay, Infinity War. Infinity War. I'm gonna put Infinity War behind Avengers. I'm gonna put Infinity War behind Avengers. This movie. Yo. Oh, I'm sorry, Legends. I know this video is long enough as it is, but I think these last few movies are about to make this maybe another hour. I hope I don't rant that long, but this movie is a straight once in a lifetime things. Oh my gosh, I cannot. Oh, this once in a lifetime movie. Oh, the trailer. I still watch the trailer for Infinity War some days when I just want to feel nostalgic. I watch the trailer for Infinity War. This movie, there have been crossovers in the past of previous stuff, and Power Rangers did this concept first. Power Rangers did the ultimate coming together, at least from my viewing experience as a fan of Power Rangers and stuff. They did it first, first, and I still give them a medal and trophy for that. Avengers Infinity War. Oh, yeah, once in a lifetime movie experience alone. Like villains, Thanos in the Infinity Saga, number one favorite villain in the MCU. Characters in this movie. Unfortunately, my boy Hulk got beat in the start of the film, which was to show how good Thanos is, and then it doesn't show up again. I'm hurt by that. Um, Thor, Thor getting Stormbreaker. Oh my goodness, there were just if you were in the theater, you understand. Like there were multiple moments. I know, like especially with Endgame and Civil Infinity War, there were multiple moments where they specifically needed they left moments for the crowd to cheer. They left brief moments for the crowd to cheer and then move on with the story. For example, at the airport, or the train station. Sorry, train station. When we see Cap come from the shadows, oh, my whole theater row celebrated. I feel like there was like the brief slight extension of that shot was because we were gonna be like screaming to see him, and uh, this is the only time we saw Steve with a beard, and he looks good with a beard. Chris Evans looks good with a beard. Uh, um, Spider Man. We got to see the Iron Spider armor, so beautiful. Black Widow with her dyed hair, awesome. Um, Thor with his eye patch and then the eye, still great. Guardians of the Galaxy, awesome. Uh, Doctor Strange, cool, real cool in this film. The Black Order. So when we get to the villain problem, I feel like the villain problem doesn't apply. I don't really think it applies here because yeah, you kill off the Black Order, but it makes sense. It makes sense. Um, and to me, if Infinity War to me, the Black Order is a staple to what the Knights of Ren should have been in the sequel trilogy. Especially at least in even if you only did it in Rise of Skywalker, if they did what the Black Order did in Infinity War, they would have been such a great group to watch because all we see of them is just walking around corners like they're just master spies doing nothing. um Now okay, the Battle of Wakanda, beautiful. Oh my goodness, amazing shots, amazing character dynamics. Bucky and Rocket, awesome. Um, Wanda, Okoye, and Black Widow, also excellent. And Black, darn it, Black Widow, Okoye, Wanda. I'm missing one. I feel like I'm missing one. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Um, but okay, okay. Let me touch on Thanos for a second. Let me touch on Thanos. My favorite villain. This was like the way they presented him, the CGI, all that. Great. Now I do. Okay, like ever since Infinity War and after the hype for it died down, people started analyzing it and say like he's not a good villain. because like we want him to be relatable, but also this menacing threat. And I, at least to me, I think it goes around just fine because when, like, for example, seeing somebody decimate half the universe, and then yes, in a split second, also saying that he loves Gamora, is out of character. I disagree because to me, I'm like, you use some of the best examples. Use Darth Vader for example. He's the most. He is arguably the greatest villain of all time, and yet, he saves his son from being killed and stuff like that. Like use I would use Darth Vader as an example. Like how like yeah, to me Darth Vader is the best example of that. Like then why don't you use that same criticism of Darth Vader? I'm like, because to me I thought it worked because it was the build up to that scene was so good because we agreed with Gamora. We've thought so sure that he didn't love anybody because this was from the Gamora is literally the audience's perspective. The audience's perspective was that he doesn't love anything. And then he drops the bombshell that he does love Gamora. And to many people, they say that was out of left field. Of course, it's out of left field because it's out of left field for Gamora. She did, like to her, she did not feel that way. Like Gamora is literally the audience, and her whole speech to him was what we wanted to say to Thanos. So when he comes back and says that he does love Gamora, that he will kill her for to achieve his goals, to me that was an epitome of a good villain. Like he did not let anything stand in his way, even if it broke his heart. He achieved what he set out to do, and that's one thing why I say Thanos is one of the greatest villains. Like my favorite villain of the MCU, and arguably one of the greatest villains of all time. Arguably one of because Darth Vader may be the best. Um, that being said, the ending of the movie, everybody was upset, one by the snap, and then by the film ending with Thanos having a grin on his face. Oh man, and this movie hurt me so bad. This movie hurt me so bad. I did not watch it for another year. I know it was like, especially when it came out on DVD, until a full year, an entire year went by. I did not see the movie again. I did not want to watch the movie ever again. And for an entire year, I didn't watch it again because I did not want to, because I knew how it ended. I knew how it ended. I did not want to relive that. I did not want to relive that experience. I did not want to relive that experience. And then as usual, like my reactions to stuff was much like everybody else. Um, Chadwick, like T'Challa getting dusted. Oh my gosh, that hurt me so bad. I'm like, How you gonna kill my man? I'm like, how you gonna kill you? Dusted off. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, Groot hurt because, of course, was the sacrifice of his, like the previous Groot. The previous Groot. This hurt more. This hurt again. Sam, um, Drax, Star Lord, or Doctor Strange, Spider Man. Yeah, that brought a lot of people, including me, emotionally to my knees. Um, the post credit scene of Nick Fury like hinting to Captain Marvel, I at least I think, yeah, I recognize the symbol immediately. I recognize the symbol and the colors as Captain Marvel immediately, and I was excited. I was hyped to see Captain Marvel because I especially remember her from Earth's Mightiest Heroes and knows how powerful she is. Um, Now, what I was saying before, with that being said, with that being said about Thanos, people do want to do say that because we saw um Kang be beaten, this Kang the Conqueror be beaten in Quantum Mania, that he's not like having him lose like this is not good for him to be a villain. And I can see where you're going with that. But to me, in hindsight, Thanos until Infinity War is not that great of a villain because up until then, all he did, and you can use Endgame all you want, you can use that all you want, but take Endgame out of the picture. Like all we saw him do was sit around in a chair or stand around doing nothing up until Infinity War. We didn't see him do nothing, nothing, nothing. Everything else was going on, nothing. Didn't know anything about Thanos, nothing. Only hearing it from word of mouth and other stuff, nothing. So, and again, I love that Thanos, but to me, off the bat, when it comes to introductions, Kang to me is becoming a better villain to me because we have actively seen him and his variants do stuff. And I honestly feel that depending on what Marvel Studios does, Kang will end up being to me, in my opinion, a better villain than Thanos because throughout like with Phase 4 with Loki, and now with Phase 5 with Quantumania and what will happen afterwards. We have seen Kang doing things. We have seen him do stuff. And then I at least don't think Kang in Quantumania is dead because the common rule, we don't see a body. And then when you think about it, like we actively saw beforehand that Ant-Man was able to shrink into the quantum engine, and that basically Kang the Conqueror was shrunk into the quantum engine. And so he's not dead. He's just smaller. So and if he could go honestly go anywhere in the timeline. Right? So depending on what happens. So and to me, I like the fact that we see if Kang the Conqueror comes back and he shows up in Kang Dynasty and stuff like that. I would like to. I think that's awesome because seeing him lose, we basically do the same thing that people have done with Iron Man, that he learns from his mistakes. Seeing a villain learn from his mistakes, learn from them, like, and actively in the comics, this happens in the comics as well. Kang loses again and again and again and again and again, and he learns from this, learns from this, learns from this, learns from this, and ultimately takes the win because he learned from all these mistakes. For example, why do you I at least use the example in the Batman TV show, the animated the Batman TV show. There was one episode where one man's power was to turn back time. And when you think about it, a time traveler, yes, is the most overpowered person ever because if he replays a battle millions of times after losing, he ends up winning. He can win anything just by losing and learning from those mistakes. So I look forward to see what Kang does. So Thanos, personal favorite villain, but in hindsight, up until Infinity War, he didn't do anything. We didn't see him do anything. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ant-Man and the Wasp, I'm going to put in very. I'm gonna put in very good. It's gonna go. Yeah, I'll put it here because okay, villain problem. Ghost. I want to see more of Ghost. I want to see more of Ghost. Um, I do feel that the cop out at the end with Ghost ending up being able to control her powers, eh? But it's better than because then people would just say it adds to the Marvel problem of killing off your villains. It's because everyone would say that, and then in here in Ant-Man and the Wasp, it made sense. It adds to the stakes, and I'm like, then the other movies didn't do that, whatever. But keeping Ghost to me was the right call. Introduce it like giving the Wasp a role in this and Janet giving Janet an act. Now she's a hero. Awesome, awesome. Overall, again, Ant Man, low stakes. These are low, like pretty much low stakes stuff. Um, and that's honestly what I honestly do feel like because of how it was presented, Ant-Man Quantumania, people hyped up their stakes, hyped up their expectations for Quantumania a bit, and that could also be because of the villain in it, because of Kang in it, because you could keep MODOK in there, it could still be the same thing. And then I also heard people say like if Kang was somebody who was looming in the back like Thanos was, and MODOK was answering to him, and we only saw him from there, that would be better. I would disagree because you're doing the exact same thing Thanos was doing, and literally from the Avengers, you're doing the exact same thing that Thanos did, and then people would say that's why Thanos is a better character because they're copying from it. I'm like, exactly. That's why I want Kang to be actively doing stuff. I want to see Kang actively doing things, actively failing, and actively learning from his mistakes so that he wins in the end. I want to feel satisfied. Anyway, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Overall, great film. Luis's story is still amazing. Luis not being in Quantumania, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I can go a movie. I can go an Ant-Man movie without Luis and the crew. I can be fine with that. Otherwise, yeah, this is overall a good film. Just a fun thing to watch. Watch when you need time to kill. And it also easily explains what happened, why he wasn't in Infinity War. Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel. Ooh, I know that this is gonna get some people. I won't put it in excellent. Hmm. Hmm. Huh. Hmm. I would watch. I think I would watch Captain Marvel over first the Captain America First Avenger. So I did like um I liked Captain Marvel. I thought it was cool. And I won't go deep into it, but I actually saw the movie twice when it came out. Oh, I don't really see movies twice that often, but I had a special opportunity where I was able to see this movie and another movie coming up, like another one that I'm about to mention twice. I got to see it twice on its opening weekend, and I had no complaints. I like this movie. Thought Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers is a good character. Brie Larson is cool. Cool. I like her character, her dynamic with others, especially with Nick, with Fury. Um, I look forward to see her in the Marvels. I look forward to seeing her. I look forward to seeing Monica Rambeau, and I look forward to seeing my favorite MCU show, girl, Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. I look forward to seeing her in the Marvels at the end of this year. Here, and am I bummed that it got delayed a little bit? But I understand because if you kept that movie in June, you you see the competition. You see the competition. Like, look, look, at look. I liked Quantumania, but because of how people were thinking about how people see Quantumania, and depending, okay, at least depending on what happens with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. But for the all the people who dogged and hated on Captain Marvel to begin with, bro, like the Marvels, if you did that, people are just going to dissect that movie to death. They're already doing it. But I look forward to the Marvels just like I enjoyed Captain Marvel. The villain, um, kept them all alive. The villains didn't die in this movie. I'm cool with that. I want to see more of the Kree Empire. I want to see more of the Kree Empire for sure. Um, maybe what and maybe we could get Blue Marvel. We could get Blue Marvel somehow. Oh, and I mainly know this character from Marvel Snap since I play it a lot on my phone. But I'd like to see Blue Marvel possibly one day in the MCU. I think that would be cool. Um, Goose the Flurkin cat. Um, and I say Flurkin. I hope I'm saying the species right. A Flurkin, Flurk. I cannot spell. Flurken. A Flurkin. Goose the cat. That was very cute. And subject to opinion. I love the fact that Nick Fury lost his eye to Goose. I thought that was hilarious. I thought to this day that is a hilarious thing. Many people didn't like it because it made a joke out of it made a joke out of a what was built up to be a big moment. But to me, that's what made it amazing. That was what made it hilarious. Like we thought this thing was something big, like something deep happened with this. Nah, it was just a cat scratch. Oh, so to me that was funny. Like to me, I think that was a good choice. I stand by that decision. And with the scrolls not being all bad guys, I love that. I love that. That was a change of mindset because as now out of the many things I forgot about, out of the many things I forgot about from Earth's Mightiest Heroes, I remember that the scrolls were the bad guys. Right. So seeing them in here, not in Captain Marvel, not being the bad guys, that was great. That was a great thing to see. But Secret Invasion? Ooh, I look forward to Secret Invasion. I look forward to Secret Invasion. See that. So then the post credit scene going into Avengers Endgame, that was sweet. That was sweet. Oh, overall, just good. It was nice to see Agent Coulson again. It was nice to see him in the MCU canon. Uh, if Agents of Shield is canon or not, I keep hearing like it may be, it may not be. I'm thinking it will be semi-canon with Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. It will go into that, but otherwise, yeah. Endgame, Avengers Endgame. I will put it right here. Oh my gosh. Avengers Endgame once in a lifetime movie. Once in a lifetime movie. And I mentioned it before. Uh got to see a movie twice on its opening weekend. The second movie was Avengers Endgame. I won't go into details on how, but I got an opportunity uh to go and see this movie twice. I think first Oh man, was it the same day? I don't remember, but I saw this movie twice. Once, and then I saw it before my family, and then my family saw it, and then I saw it with my family. So the direction with Thor, I understand. I understand why they did that, and I like it for it. Um, the comedy in here was still good. I like the comedy in this movie. Younger Thanos was pretty cool. That was nice. Time tra- time travel or the quantum realm. Hey, we've been they've been building up the they were talking about the quantum realm for a while and finally got into it in Ant-Man and the Wasp and at the end of Ant-Man. So building more and more onto something that was from a lesser known character was cool. I like that. The explanation on how Ant-Man got out to me is hilarious because as that rat ended up saving the world. Like I will make that argument with anyone that rat saved the world, saved the universe. Um, Captain America's arc, his ending, much deserved, much deserved. Um, Iron Man had arguably the greatest arc in the MCU, arguably the greatest arc in the MCU, sacrificing, laying his life on the line, and giving it up to save the world, to save the universe. Yep. Yeah. That's so good. So good. So good. See the ending, the final battle, once in a lifetime moment. I hope I never forget it. I hope I never forget that day. Hearing Captain America proclaim Avengers Assemble. I hope I never forget that in my life. Hope I never do. Oh, because yeah, this movie. Um, while there was more cheering, I think throughout the Infinity War, there was more cheering throughout. Endgame's ending, Endgame's ending had took the cake, takes the cake in many ways, and I like how it touches on MCU history. It touches on MCU history in different ways. Um, and then also Tony's speech at the end nearly got me crying because he wasn't just talking to the characters in the movie. He was talking to the audience. Like I think if you had told me 10 years ago or 12 years ago, oh that we'd be here, I wouldn't believe you. I'm like, dude, that almost made me cry because to me, I felt he was talking to me. I felt he was talking to me right there. Black Widow, Black Widow dying, that hurt. That hurt. But it's nice because we got Hawkeye and we got to see more of Hawkeye. We got to see more of Clint in this. So Ronin was cool. Like Hawkeye is Ronin, real cool. I like the suit. The beginning of the movie where they killed Thanos, was man that tug my heartstrings right there because like seeing that he used the stones to destroy them, I'm like that made me respect him even more. Made him my even more my favorite, even more my favorite villain. Then and then likely you'll see that in many reaction like people who went to the video and recorded the audience reaction when those 5 years came up slowly like five I like everybody read that years you start hearing oh no because you immediately get like oh no 5 years has passed like oh 5 years oh man but yeah, and then I asked the question which one was right. That like was Thanos right or not? And in many ways, no, but in many ways also yeah. Like he was wrong, but he was also right. So once in a lifetime movie, you cannot complain about that at all. Not well, not really any complaints at all. Far Spider-Man Far From Home. Spider-Man Far From Home. This was a really good movie. This was really good. This had me on my where would I put this? Where would I put this? Where would I put this? I think I would watch this over Ant Man. Honestly, I liked I liked Far From Home. I liked Far From Home. I liked Mysterio. I thought legit that he was from another universe and they were dipping into the multiverse so badly. Oh man, but and then I like how many of us thought like is Mysterio a hero and all that when in shows like Spectacular Spider-Man in the comics and stuff his like Mysterio's whole thing is making you think one thing and then like being deceiving you so this was right in his character so and then like what I was saying before with Homecoming like people were mad that people were mad that we went from Spider-Man being on his own to now having all of Stark's tech and all that. Sure, and the Edith glasses, yeah, but I thought it was good. Like this ended up growing Peter's character even more because one, he started to trust his spider sense even more to the point where he could go up against some automated drones shooting at him with nothing but his spider sense. That was beautiful. Um, Mysterio's trickery, beautiful, beautiful trickery. And like it's most like usually what he does. He does it by practical effects, with practical effects, and these were beautiful practical effects. um, Maria Hill and Nick Fury being I forget his name, but Scrolls. That came out of nowhere to me. But with like first you're shocked, but then once you think about it, in the very same 5 seconds, you think about it and say, yes, they were scrolls the whole time because if you remember or listen to their dialogue, uh, it makes complete sense that they weren't the real ones. Like it was right there in front of us, and it wasn't until the answer was shown that we could see it. Then I look forward to Secret Invasion so we can see how Nick Fury comes back to Earth, seeing as how he maybe seeing as how okay, Sword is now back is still on Earth, but so I'm wondering what he's doing up in that spaceship at the end of the movie. Then the reveal at the end of Far From Home, revealing Peter Parker as Spider-Man, that was beautiful. That was unexpected, and that was a great way to end the movie. That was a great way to end the movie. Um, and then multiple characters from previous Marvel films, showing up in this. That was great. That was great, giving homage to previous movies, and the and Mysterio be like I can understand like you was being mad at Stark for calling your great technology to make optical illusions in 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 such great detail and such like doing it so well, calling it barf, really, like, dude, that is disrespectful. Like, dude, that's so mean. That is so mean. um, so this was a good movie to me. Then Peter and MJ ending up together and him telling her the truth. Ooh, that was pretty cool. Um, and I like how with MJ, she pretty much like she was guessing, but she was faking it enough to make it seem like it was true, like to make it seem like she knew the truth. Oh, so overall, yeah. Okay, peak MCU. Oh, I think I gotta give peak MCU to Avengers Infinity War because even though I love Avengers Endgame and the ending is some of the best the MCU's have given us, Avengers Infinity War has to me a better story. It has a better story. Get brought all the characters together. Oh, like so many emotions in one thing. Like peak MCU. If I had to pick multiple movies, it would probably be like Avengers, The Avengers, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. Each of these three, but the top out of them all is Avengers Infinity War. Oh, so there's my tier list. As you can tell, pretty much I saw each one of these, and to me, none of them were below a C. I honestly thought I would put a few in C, but each of these are like I liked them. Like I thought they were good. So I think yeah, in my phase four, I think I did go down to a C and D. I think I did go down there, but otherwise, like yeah, this is pretty much it. So I've been seeing a few other MCU rankings, at least in phase four, and one like I at least want to react to in shorts to say how I feel. But otherwise, yeah, this is pretty much my reaction. And blast it. I think this video will end up being 2 hours long. I am so sorry, Legends. I didn't want to give myself a timer to where I would have to limit myself and not get to the points that I wanted to. But I also didn't want to go on this long. But I am at least happy that for 100 subscribers, my this video is longer than the Phase 4 one because there were more projects in that, and I thought that this would be shorter because I have less stuff, less movies. But because of my feelings for these movies, I have more to talk about. So thank you, Legends, so much for watching. What do you think of my rankings? Do you agree with any of these? Do you disagree with some of these? What would you put? I'm certain some of these would go down here in okay, not good, not bad, bad or terrible. Please let me know down in the comments. And if you haven't seen my tier list for phase 4 or my 80 subscriber special, I will likely link that video either right here on the side right here, or in a card. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Legends, so much for watching. Thank you so much for 102 subscribers as of the recording of this video. If that changes, I will be happy to change it, happy to update it. I look forward to what the MCU has to offer, and I hopefully look forward to making more subscriber specials for you all to enjoy. If there's any way I can improve the channel, please let me know. Please comment, like, subscribe, share this video. Hope you enjoyed it. React to my madness. I will see you guys in the next video. See y'all later.